Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Happy Friday, man.
Happy Friday.
Football Friday for the Super Bowl.
Last football Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time.
Yeah.
You know, unlike all the haters that I'm surrounded by in the city of Cincinnati, all the angry haters, I am excited for this Super Bowl.
I mean, it's still the Super Bowl.
I agree. Still the Super Bowl.
I'm also the world's biggest Chiefs fan. So let's go. Honestly, I've been paying refs. I've looked up some of their home addresses. I've been Venmoing them. I've been sending them money.
So I was at a meeting yesterday. You know, now that I'm corporate Andy, I was at a Gold Star meeting for like a Q2 brainstorm on like stuff that they're gonna do.
I mean, you are corporate and you're saying things like Q2.
I know. Listen to me. Don't worry. I don't say a line.
A Q2 brainstorming session.
A little Q2 brainstorm session. I don't say a line every other word. That's what corporate America loves to use the word align. Does this align with this? But anyway,
I'm not sure if this aligns with this, but let's circle back.
Oh yeah,
let's circle back to that.
Circle back is huge. Let's power dot this and see what we like best.
I don't even know. I've never heard power dot.
Dude.
Is that a sex position?
No, but it should be. So basically, if everybody has ideas,
power docking is a sex position. That's
Mormons,
Mormon shit.
Soaking docking.
At my bachelor party in Utah.
So I had 2 kids, man. I was power docking. So let's what was my time about? So basically power dotting is if like you have a bunch of ideas, you put them on a board. Somebody would be writing them on like a giant erase board, and then you go through and you'd put, each person would have like a marker and you dot whether the ones you like the best.
Oh, okay.
It's almost like a democratic way, like, oh, majority of people like these 5 ideas.
Is it blind? Do you guys put your heads down when people are power dotting?
I don't know.
So like 7-Up?
But what I was actually going to say was, before we got it kicked off, one of the because it's marketing, so it's literally, I'm always the only dude in the meeting. It's these women, and one of the woman's like, "Are you excited for the Super Bowl?" I was like, "Yeah, I love football, you know." And then they all started complaining about the Chiefs, and one started talking about the refs. And I mean, look, to their credit, they just don't know. And I was like, I said what you and I always say. I go, so all 31 owners, or I guess 30 because of the Packers, but I go, they're all in on a conspiracy.
Yeah.
To make the middle of America, just, you know, like a Cincinnati, a mid-major city. No, it's because of Taylor Swift. And I said, the refs favor them. And I hate Mahomes. I go, you hate Mahomes? You hate Mahomes? Like what?
I've seen a lot of women switching sides on social media this week, because I don't know if you saw, but Travis Kelce like didn't angrily oppose Trump being at the game or something like that. Did you see this whole thing?
No, I didn't see it.
They asked him what it was like, you know, how it would feel to be playing in front of Trump. And he was just like, I mean, it's an honor when any president comes to the game, blah, 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 blah. And women are angry because Trump once tweeted or put on Truth Social or whatever that he hated Taylor Swift. So women are like, if you don't defend your woman, now I'm like rooting for the Eagles. And so I know it's only 2 days away, so you might not have to deal with any women, but this is what I've said to every woman. I was like, if you're a woman, the one thing that you need to know about this Super Bowl, and this is a Googleable fact, is that domestic violence spikes in Philadelphia after Eagles losses. No one gives a fuck about women less than the Eagles and Eagles fans and the greater Philadelphia area. Domestic violence spikes in Philadelphia.
They made a movie about it. Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, she was cheating, but like they made a movie. Bradley Cooper beats the shit out of that dude.
Yeah.
And he's also from Philly.
Yeah.
Big fan of that movie, as we know. Big fan. Big fan. Big fan of that movie. Well, we're off. Look. That was a way to ease into this. We're gonna cover it all, obviously. The actual game and preview and Super Bowl and the prop bets and the regular bets and look, there's a lot. The NFL has wisely, smartly kicked off the night before. I'm sorry, a few nights before. What last night was Thursday.
Yeah.
With the awards show. Now they
Thursday
got
awards night. Yeah.
They got Snoop hosting. They got celebrities there. Like they've done a good job. They've turned it into kind of their own Grammys or Oscars, if so to speak. But I want to jump into those. I want to kind of jump into the awards.
Okay.
Very close MVP, which we knew. Josh Allen wins. He gets 27 first place votes to Lamar's 23. I thought Lamar would get it since he won first team All Pro. I'm sorry, it was named first team All Pro. I believe this stat was this is only the third time where a quarterback is not first team. A quarterback who wins the MVP was not first team All Pro. I believe it was 87 with LA. There was like an old one, maybe Bart Starr or something.
Yeah.
So that was a little surprising. Now, look, I've said going in, I had no problem with either quarterback getting MVP. I had no problem with either. Now, the hate that Josh is getting a lot of blowback, at least on Twitter, which whatever. But I think that's unfair.
Let me ask you something, Andy. This is just simplest question. Who is the most valuable player in the NFL currently today in this season?
It's Patrick Mahomes every year.
Great. So what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah.
This is like, then people start going, statistically, like, it's not, the award is not what it says it is. So when you try to justify it by how it is defined or by statistics, Patrick Mahomes is the most valuable player in the NFL. It's not fucking close. It's not close.
It's not close. It's LeBron. It's all those years of LeBron. That's the equivalent.
It's not close. But then let's take him aside and you go, his team, we can't give it to him every year. His team statistically, blah, 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 blah. All right. So if you're going to use statistics to justify it, now let's go. If you're going to keep it award, like I believe Josh Allen is more valuable to the Bills than Lamar Jackson is to the Ravens. Josh Allen did not have an all-pro running back. Josh Allen did not have the weapons that Lamar Jackson had. Josh Allen does not have, like, he is, in my opinion, obviously more valuable to his team than Lamar Jackson is this year.
Which is totally fair. Like I said, I'd have no problem with either. The problem is, and maybe I shouldn't look at this, the precedent, this is the problem. It's like Lamar's won 2, so I think we have voter fatigue. And the problem I have is like, okay, well, if
we wouldn't have voter fatigue if they didn't give it to him the other 2 times when he maybe or maybe not deserved it.
No, for sure. But that's my point is like, if Lamar wins it last year and he absolutely takes a dump on his numbers last year and his team still wins their division, they win, 1 or 2 last games, big deal. Then by that logic, he should win it again this year. So, like, I have no problem if Lamar won it, but it's all weird to me because the same voters who vote for All-Pro then didn't vote for him for MVP. So I'm just like scratching my head. And I don't know if you saw this. They released, it was interesting. They don't always do this. They released the votes. I don't know if you saw this. You could see. So it's 50 voters. And they released who voted for who. And I was curious to see, different people. Like, for example, Tom Brady's a voter because he's in the media. He's one of the 50 voters. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
I was like, who's Brady? Who do you think Brady voted for MVP?
Saquon Barkley.
He voted for Lamar.
Okay.
So I was like curious. I was like, who's Brady going to vote for? So I was looking at certain people, and I was shocked at certain people who had voting credentials. But again, I have no problem with either. I don't think it's fair for everybody online. A lot of these people, they're calling him the DEI QB, which is funny.
Who?
That was trending last night on Twitter. It was like a top
who? Josh Allen or Lamar?
Josh Allen. They're calling him the DEI MVP. That they wanted to give it to a white guy.
I don't even follow that logic, but okay.
They're basically saying normally like a black player is going to get it, I guess, or Lamar should get it. He was black. Obviously, he's black.
Wouldn't that be the DEI MVP? I'm confused. Anyway.
It's kind of confusing.
Yeah, that's an internet. That's a meme when it's like, oh, your joke's bad from the beginning, and then people are like, it's not. It's hilarious. Retweet.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. But my point.
I mean,
regardless,
the NFL MVP. I mean, it's got to be 80% white historically, right? Because it's got to be mostly quarterbacks and mostly white quarterbacks.
I would assume.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe it's changed recently with Lamar and Mahomes.
Okay.
Right. Regardless,
Mahomes is half white, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. Regardless, my point is to come at Allen, like you said, he didn't have any all pros. Right. He had maybe one on the O-line. Like Lamar had a lot on both offense and defense. So the point is, better team around them. I have no problem with Josh Allen getting it, just like I have no problem with Lamar getting it. But I don't think it's right to like take a shit on these other guys. Also, you brought up stats. Guys, context matters. Like I've seen wild takes, just bad takes, of course, from Bengals fans about what he did and comparing Burrow to Josh Allen. Well, guess what, guys? Josh Allen didn't play a lot of fourth quarters.
Right, but also, this is where this is the Michael Jordan, Kareem, or this is the Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, LeBron conundrum, right? So if you're about winning, if what you use is rings, it's Bill Russell. Bill Russell's your GOAT, right? If you're talking about rings, Bill Russell's your GOAT. If you're talking about statistics, LeBron James is your GOAT. If you're talking about a combination of statistics and rings, LeBron James is still your GOAT, right? So the problem with using one thing to detract from a guy that you don't like doesn't work if it sets up somebody else. If statistics is the end all be all, Joe Burrow is your MVP. If record doesn't matter, Joe Burrow is your MVP. Right?
Yeah.
If statistics don't matter, Drew Brees was just the MVP for a decade and a half in the NFL.
Yeah.
Record doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your teammates are. It doesn't matter what division you play in. It doesn't matter how you finish. It doesn't matter how far you went in the playoffs. Statistics. Full on, full blown, just stats in a vacuum. Lamar doesn't win. Right?
I mean, him and Burrow would probably both have, if you combine rushing, because Lamar has a ton of rushing yards.
Okay.
So, like, that would be an interesting debate. Lamar probably has more total yards, I'd assume. Or it's close. Regardless, and I'm glad you're bringing this up, because I'll tease it a little bit. Like, that's a great segue into the whole Eli Manning discussion with Hall of Fame when you're talking statistics and Super Bowls. And the problem that you see with all these people, they don't know how to pick a lane with their arguments.
Correct.
So it's like
that's to me. I mean, Andy, we've done this show for I don't know what 11 years
11
or whatever.
Years.
That's the thing that breaks me across the board in sports, in politics, in life, in comedy, in whatever. It's just like, don't be a hypocrite. Pick a like I have a lane. My lane is very clear. I stick to it. You know, it's funny. I was just getting in an argument online because everybody's sucking off Elon Musk about like, oh, he's making the government more efficient. I'm like, he got tens of billions of dollars from the government. He did. So it's like, I don't suck the dick of Democrats, and I don't like when people take
Are you talking like subsidies for Tesla in California?
Yeah. tens of billions. And they're like,
I mean, that's an interesting discussion. If
here's the thing. If you're going to give my taxpayer money to people, you clear it with me. No taxation without representation, right? I don't like that Gaza got blah, blah, blah. I don't like that Ethiopia got this. They're giving my money to Ukraine. They give way more to fucking SpaceX. What are you talking about? I don't like it when you do this because I have a lane. Governments should not take my money and give it to people without my permission, right? But I'll suck Elon Musk over here, but I hate it when they fucking do this. It's like, I have a lane. You don't.
But are those on the subsidies, are those tax breaks or are those actually giving money?
All across the board, which is, and guess what? Tax breaks. Do I get a tax break? I want the government out of my shit. So I don't suck off who Biden gives money to, and I don't suck off who Trump gives money to. And I don't say, they're like, oh, that money gave it to him when the Democrats are like, yeah, I hate that too. I have a lane. You are sucking off a guy for like making the government more efficient. The guy he's literally just freeing up money for himself. I have a lane. You don't have, you're politicized. I don't have a fucking lane. Don't take my money and give it to people I don't fucking approve of. So that's where we are with sports too. It's the same fucking thing with sports. When it's your team, then we like to look at it this way. When it's my team, we like to look at it this way. When it's, oh, you're a Lamar stan, then it's all statistics. If we were talking about who had a better record and who's the most valuable team, it's Mahomes. I have a lane. Who do I think should get the MVP? Patrick Mahomes. Year in and year out for fucking ever.
Oh. Hold on.
Andy's webcam has been government subsidized. Andy is out.
Hold
Andy's
on.
back.
Can you hear me?
And it swapped sides with me.
Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you.
God damn it. Why does this do this? Now if I refresh this.
I love that you're fucking Hal from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
If I refresh this, do I lose the live feed? This is what happens. I accidentally kicked my mic into the cord.
Yeah.
We've had this problem like before we've gone live.
Can you just go to the settings and turn your camera on?
No, but my camera is on.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I don't think if you leave the live, I'm still in here, but because that's happened before now. Anyway, we can do it like this. I kind of like this.
No, I got to see my ugly face. I mean, if we do this, oh my god, damn! I don't get why it does this. It's like this is a StreamYard issue. It's like if I'd have to refresh, but I don't know if that ends the stream.
I don't think it does because I'm still in here, but I could be wrong.
So then, if it ends the stream, then we're in just debacle land.
Take a hail. I mean, what's the other option? You do it like this?
We're not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it sounds like you got a Hail Mary. It sounds like you got to go refresh and hope for the best.
Let me try this. Let me just try this real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit stop mic and stop cam.
Yeah.
Even though it's not working.
Guys, if I have to do the show solo, I will. I have a lot to say about Eli Manning's Hall of Fame candidacy. I have a lot to say about the Super Bowl, Philadelphia Eagles. I got a lot to say about the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll be just fine.
Oh.
Ruther's back. Oh, and he's flipped side, and now he's back to his side even.
Look at me. You hear me?
I can hear you and see you,
Look
Andy.
at me. I figured it out. Look how tech savvy. Put me on Doge. Look how efficient I am. Okay, I'm gonna try not to mess this because I'm a little high.
You're a little high?
I'm talking about the camera, not actually.
No wonder you're fucking.
I wish I was actually high. I'm working on that. Get to bed at 3 a.m. sleep here.
I know.
So
I almost texted you last night, and then it was like it's midnight. And I was like, he could be up, but maybe he's not. I don't know.
Yeah, my schedule's all over the map. Anyway, I know you have a lot to say about Eli. I was hearing what you're saying. Yeah. I have a lot to say too. Dude, this is where I'm at. Talk about the arc of me. I'm in the Athletic, literally, like I'm
Oh, I
leaving
know.
a
I saw, and
comment.
I was so happy about it
I was
because
like,
I'm
I'm
still
leaving a
logged into your
comment
Athletic. I was so
because
happy about it.
because here's the thing.
The two things that made me happiest in Andy Ruther's Athletic comment history is when you started trashing Russ a little bit, and when you supported Eli. I was like, this is. I was like watching my son ride a bike for the first time. I was like, look at him, he's flying.
It's just the narrative. Well, no,
But
I would say
this is everything that's wrong with the current. Like, if Eli Manning retires in 1996, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. This is
100%.
This is internet culture. This is internet culture. No one can pick a fucking lane. Everybody wants to have a hot take. Every voter wants to have a hot take. Every guy who didn't vote for Eli is just every guy is just the embodiment of the dude who didn't vote for Ichiro. It's just we live in a terrible world where everybody thinks that they're not that they're everybody's opinion is valid, but it's like that everybody's opinion is important. I'm doing something. And it's like, all you're doing is denying an obvious Hall of Famer. Because why? Because you don't like his face. It's so fucking.
Well, the comment, just my thing, like you see why, dude, I saw a post. I saw a lot of posts. So many people were going, if he doesn't have those 2 Super Bowls,
Yeah.
what?
Right.
What?
Yeah. Or how about this?
What does that even mean?
If he has his 2 Super Bowls, but he won 75% of his games. Ha ha ha. Nice little other counter where we live in some fantasy world where we change the outcome of games.
Well, it's just like look.
Let me ask you something, Andy. Let me ask you something. We talk a lot about quarterbacks. All right? Let's shift gears here. Derrick Henry exists out there. Christian McCaffrey exists when he's healthy. Alvin Kamara still puts up numbers. Who's the best running back in the NFL today?
Saquon.
Clown answer. 18-31 career record. You're a fucking loser and you're a dork. 18-31 career record. He is 13 games under 500 in his career. He's the best running back. What do you think Derrick Henry's career record is?
Oh, it's probably great.
Probably great.
Yeah.
I think it's Derrick Henry. You're telling me, hold on. So you're telling me you'll take a guy who loses games and not a guy who wins games? Huh. Okay. I guess you're a fucking loser then. I guess you like losers. Saquon Barkley is 13 games under 500.
I will counter that we both agree, though. Like, the quarterback's the most important position.
Yeah, of course it is.
So in a way, it's, you're comparing a running back to a quarterback. I get your point.
Yeah, and I'm doing it because team stats are different than fucking Eli Manning. Saquon Barkley's career record actually speaks precisely to Eli Manning's Hall of Fame thing. How come the best running back ever can't win games? Because he was on a dog shit team? He was literally on that dog shit team with Eli Manning? Like, what the fuck are we talking about at this point?
So ironically, the biggest people who should advocate for Eli's Hall of Fame should be like Saints fans, considering they had multiple 7 and 9 seasons under Drew Brees. My point is they saw it firsthand. Those should be the biggest fans of Eli or pushing Eli in the Hall of Fame because that's kind of the point that you're making.
I don't know the argument against. I truly don't.
Well, I do. You see it. The argument against is that here's the argument against Eli, and it's pretty cut and dry at this point. The argument against Eli that I keep seeing is the same one. He led the league. It's like these 5 points. He led the league in interceptions 3 times. He only has 4 Pro Bowls. He was never All-Pro. And so basically it's like those points. He was never and his win-loss. And his win-loss and his team win-loss record.
So first of all, team win-loss record is, as I just covered how dumb that is, right? So now you got to go into the thing with the Hall of Fame is you have to go into, so everybody so you guys are saying this, but then, so I'm assuming everybody who is in the Hall of Fame has 12 All Pros and, 5 Pro Bowls, 10 Pro Bowls. all pro all the time. It's like they don't.
So
They
yeah.
fucking don't.
Well, look.
So what are we talking about? It's like in baseball. It's like he didn't do shit. He just compiled fucking 3,000 hits. Yeah, that's how you get in the Hall of Fame. If you get 3,000 hits in baseball, you get into the Hall of Fame. If you hit 500 home runs, you get into the Hall of Fame. That's how these halls of fame work. So if you want to change the thing because you don't like a guy, you're embarrassing yourself. Joe Namath has 1 Super Bowl, more interceptions than touchdowns, and a losing record. So what are we talking about?
Yeah. I mean, look, the notion, here's my thing when it comes to Eli. Let's just break his career down by regular season, postseason. Regular season, he's got a long career. The best ability is availability.
Mm-hmm.
3rd longest streak all time throughout NFL's history.
And did not miss the game to injury.
Yeah, most consecutive games played. So he's constantly available. We know how important that is, especially in today's NFL. Through all those years, he amasses top 10 stats when he retires in yards and touchdown passes.
Every single guy above him when he retired was active or in the Hall of Fame.
So those are like the regular season. We know the regular season record. We know that. So like that's regular season. Okay, fine. Now postseason, which to me is so important. It's so important. Which I think really, really to me, what I'm fascinated by this vote is if you guys are saying Eli's not first ballot, a guy who won 2 Super Bowls MVP. I have it pulled up side by side. Him and Big Ben overall. It's like Big Ben has 2 more Pro Bowls. Big deal. Pro Bowls don't mean anything. We've already discussed that. But Big Ben has 0 MVPs. Their stats are pretty similar. Now, Big Ben has a fair amount more touchdown passes and yards, but like they're pretty similar is my point. But my point is
on way better teams with better weapons.
For sure. On much better. We all know like Pittsburgh has traditionally always had a good defense, good teams, great running back, Bettis. But Willie Parker, like they had good players. Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, like he had a lot of good players. My point is, if we like you got to be careful, voters. If we're gonna say Eli's not first ballot, newsflash, it's really shitty for Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, Russell Wilson, like all these. Here's what's interesting. I saw today, or I just saw a clip of it on social. Everybody in ESPN, it was like a panel, these dipshit panels. They were all agreeing that, and they didn't say first ballot, but they all agreed, just the whole across the board, like Orlovsky, whoever it was, they all agreed that Rivers, Big Ben, Russell Wilson, who else? Big Ben, Russell Wilson, Phillip Rivers, and Drew Brees, of course, and I forget who else. Like I'm going to leave Brady out of this. And there was one other. They all believed that they were Hall of Famers, and I was like, "Well, that's interesting to me."
Well, it's always interesting too, because listen, I mean, if I had $1 for every time the catchphrase was carried by his defenses, Russell Wilson, significantly better defenses for significantly longer. Phillip Rivers, significantly better defenses for significantly longer. Ben Roethlisberger, significantly better defenses for significantly longer. So Russell Wilson has less. Phillip Rivers has less. Ben Roethlisberger has the same. So what the fuck are we doing here? Significantly better defenses. Lamar Jackson, significantly better defenses. Can't win it all. Joe Flacco, significantly better defenses for significantly longer. Peyton Manning, significantly better defenses for significantly longer.
And then I saw someone on that panel saying, I forget who it was, saying, and some of the arguments for Eli Now we're looking at who they beat. I'm like, yeah, that matters. He goes, we're going to go through. Why don't we start going through every Super Bowl? Dude, it matters that you were the MVP beating the Patriots twice. It does. It does. He was saying, why does it matter? Because they were undefeated.
Also, the argument about Eli Manning's 2 Super Bowls, they act like you go 9-7 in the NFC East, and then you just appear in the Super Bowl. Like, oh, they beat Brady? Nah, he didn't beat Brady. He beat Favre and Rodgers and Romo and Ryan and the Niners with Alex Smith and the Saints, and they beat everybody.
How many road playoff wins does he have? 5 or more?
8, 7?
Well, he has 8 playoff wins overall.
I think he has 9 playoff wins overall, or does he just have 8?
I think he has 8.
Okay. So 7, because they beat the Falcons at home. That's it.
And that's important. And obviously, I think
Packers twice on the road. Cowboys on the road. Patriots. Technically the road team for both. Niners on the road.
So like, here's my thing. You can catch, and we've seen it, and you'll agree, you can catch lightning in a bottle. Nick Foles did it. Joe Flacco did it on a playoff run. You that can happen. You can catch lightning in a bottle for a playoff run and just fucking carve up defenses. The difference is Eli did it twice and did it against the Patriots.
The only quarterback to win 2 Super Bowls that isn't in is Jim Plunkett. He doesn't have 2 Super Bowl MVPs. The only 2-time Super Bowl MVP that isn't in is Eli Manning.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's Montana, Bradshaw, Starr, Eli, Brady, Mahomes. Those are all ones with multiple MVPs. There's only 6 in NFL history.
And what's annoying about this is the exact same thing. And you can go back in this show. Terrell Owens not getting in the Hall of Fame on the first ballot is fucking ludicrous.
Yeah.
But it's guys trying to prove some sort of point. Some sort of point that he's going to get in, but he's not going to get in first ballot.
Which is what they're doing with Eli.
Yeah. And it's like, then you're a loser. You're a fucking dork loser who's never strapped on a helmet. You're a dork loser. Terrell Owens is, at worst, the 5th best wide receiver in NFL history. 6th. He's not 10th. So when you go out of your way to prove a point of not putting a guy in the Hall of Fame who absolutely has a resume, you're a dork. You're a fucking dork.
Yeah. And I agree. And that's
if you did not, you could title the episode it or not. I don't care. If you didn't vote for Eli Manning, you're a fucking dork. Simple as that. Because it means you don't know shit about football because you never fucking touched a football.
Well, again, at the end of the day, when you compare him to his contemporaries, like guys, it's not even a question. You can't sit here. Oh, and they were also talking about Stafford. That was the guy I forgot that they said should get in.
Stafford,
that whole panel.
Under 500. Under 500. Under 500. Now, I think Matthew Stafford should be in the Hall of Fame because I know that you losing games on the Detroit Lions doesn't mean you stink. I'd love to see Barry Sanders' career record.
Yeah. It's just, look, again, if you're setting this, I listed all those guys. When you look at Hall of Fame resume.
But again, the league, Favre has the most interceptions ever.
Well, Favre led the league 3 times. Now they would counter and say, look how many MVPs Favre has. Look how many All-Pro Favre has.
Okay. But when you say this is the thing, right? It's interceptions and it's record. Then say the reason guys can't be in is because of this. But if they are in, then you're lying. And by the way, the counter to Brett Favre is Brett Favre went to a Super Bowl and fucking lost one. Brett Favre doesn't have Super Bowl MVPs. Let's count his Super Bowl MVPs. Great. We're counting MVPs. Let's count MVPs.
He has none. Desmond Howard got that one.
Yeah.
Brett Favre has 0 Super Bowl MVPs.
So we're counting MVPs now. We got to count Brett Favre's MVPs.
So that's my thing is like, it all depends on what you value. If you value postseason.
But it's also just the context, dude. It's just the context. Like if you don't take context in it, there is no one who understands football less. No one. Sean Merriman, come on the show. I'm calling you out. We had you do it. I'll have you do it again. I don't care that you played in the league. No one knows football less than people who think Phillip Rivers is more qualified than Eli Manning to be in the Hall of Fame. You have a better record because you played on better teams with better weapons, better defenses, a first ballot lock Hall of Fame running back, a first ballot lock Hall of Fame tight end.
Which, by the way, is a joke that it took him 2 runs.
Yeah. And you didn't win shit. You didn't win fucking shit.
Didn't even make the Super Bowl.
Eli Manning's winning Super Bowls with Derek Ward and Brandon Jacobs and Steve Smith, not the real one, and fucking Victor Cruz.
Fake Steve Smith.
And fucking Kevin Boss and Jake Ballard. You're not appearing in Super Bowls with peak LaDainian Tomlinson, Junior Seau, and Antonio Gates. If you think Phillip Rivers is more qualified, you do not understand that. You just don't value how one guy can elevate his teammates and the other one can drag them down.
You know, I think we need to judge athletes in general in the postseason, right? Like it's part of the pie. But to me, that pie, that's a big chunk of that pie. How we need to judge these guys. And at the end of the day,
I love, by the way, also, you know, you look at, when you talk about weapons, I love how Plaxico Burress, let's look up Plaxico Burress's career stats. Plaxico Burress comes to the Giants and they immediately win Super Bowls. They didn't get T.O. He didn't get Randy Moss. He didn't get Andre Johnson or Calvin Johnson. He got a guy who catches 65 balls a year. And he was like, I guess we're a Super Bowl contender every year now, unless this guy shoots himself in the leg. Undefeated until his receiver who catches 65 balls in a year shoots himself in the leg. Imagine Antonio Gates. Imagine LaDainian Tomlinson.
It's just weird to me that you have to make a point and say, we're going to let you in because we all know he's getting in. And you're right. It's not just Eli. They did it with T.O. And the truth is, they're doing it with, and obviously we'll talk about it. They're doing it with Luke Kuechly. Dude, that's a joke, too. That's a fucking joke. And I'm obviously
in or not in.
He didn't get in.
So who got in?
The lowest number of players got in.
Sterling Sharp
in 20 years. Sterling Sharp,
which I
know.
Is he qualified or not?
I know. And the next two are debatable too. Eric Allen, Jared Allen. Eric Allen. I think that was his 19th year on the.
Imagine living in a world where you can go to the pro
and Antonio
football.
Gates.
Imagine going into the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, as a child, and not seeing And by the way, seeing Eli Manning's Super Bowl helmet and seeing David Tyree's helmet, which I'm sure there's a display with the ball attached to it. I'm sure there's a picture of Mario Manningham towing the sidelines, seeing this whole thing and then being like, who's that? And they're like, it's Eric Allen. He was a defensive back for the Eagles when they didn't win a fucking goddamn thing. And is that his brother Jared Allen? Are they twins? Is that why they got in? No, that was he just did some weird fucking lasso thing.
For like Mohawk.
5.5 good seasons in Minnesota.
I mean, it's a joke, dude. It's a joke. Like I know Luke Kuechly had a short career, but you're telling me the guy who plays 8 seasons, 7 of his 8 seasons, he's all pro. 5 of them, he's first team. Defensive player of the somebody put up a side by side. Somebody on Twitter put up a side by side. I thought this was real interesting of Luke Kuechly versus Brian Urlacher. By the way, Urlacher was first ballot. Urlacher played 5 more seasons, 5 full more seasons than Kuechly.
Less tackles.
Kuechly has more first team all pros, more second team all pros. So Kuechly played 60 plus less games.
Well, Andy, to be fair, longevity is important. Staying healthy is important unless you are Eli Manning, and then it's not important.
Yeah. Now he still has less tackles by not much, and he has way less sacks. But like the point is, it's just take me through this. And by the way, you probably didn't see this because obviously I'm following because Kuechly went to my high school, so obviously I'm biased. But they're using the same rationale that they did on Eli. They're all saying Kuechly's going to get in next year. He has to wait because he only played 8 seasons, even though every stat says you were the best at your position for 8 years, almost a full decade. You were the best linebacker, but hey, you didn't play long enough. You have to wait. Joe, they didn't let Vinatieri is the all-time leading scorer for kicker. All time. All those clutch field goals that Vinatieri did in the playoffs. I don't know what they want now. And again, nothing against somebody like Jared Allen or even Eric. Like, dude, I'd much rather have Eli, Kuechly, and Vinatieri in ahead of you guys.
Yeah.
I just like, I don't know. Like, they have a problem. And look, you can argue Torrey Holt, and you can argue a lot of these guys. It's like there's a lot of good guys, and I know there's only so many players. And Steve Smith, the real Steve Smith, not the fake one that Eli was.
that Eli got, I think 100 catches, between 90 and 110 catches. He immediately went to the Eagles and was out of football in 3.5 months.
The fake Steve Smith. Let's see here. He did.
How many catches?
He had 107 receptions in 2009.
And in 2010, was he still on the Giants?
Yeah, he dropped down to 48.
And then in 2011, he was where?
He had 11 catches for the Eagles. In 9 games, he had 11 catches. He had an insane year for them. I just don't know what you guys want, you voters. And again, this seems to be a problem across both football and baseball at this point. I just don't know what you want. Don't we want the sustained longevity of stats on the regular season and then the Super Bowl and playoff runs? Aren't those the 2 big things?
Yep.
Because again, everybody wants to talk rings, and now they don't want to talk rings.
Yeah.
Well, if he didn't have those 2 runs, well, he did. I don't want to play the if game. That's stupid.
Yeah, well, if he had stuck with being the first overall pick and played on the Chargers.
It's just, I don't know. It's ridiculous, and we all know he's going to get in, but there's this weird ego trip of like, we're going to make you wait a year, which again is weird because T.O., while I don't agree with it and you don't agree with it, T.O. was a dick. Eli was never a dick. Like, I don't agree with them holding T.O. out, but butthurt people did. But at least they're like, okay, he was a dick. I got a personal vendetta. What did Eli do to these guys?
Right.
What did Eli do?
Well, we know what he did. We know what he did. He angered people by winning. He angered people by winning. That's what he did. Oh, look at his face. His face. He angered people. He does what he. Why do people hate Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback has ever lived. Why do people hate Patrick Mahomes?
Because he wins.
Yep. Because he wins.
It's interesting you brought up Sean Merriman, because I would ask Sean this, and I would ask any Chargers fan if they exist this. And this kind of ends the discussion. What would you rather have? Sean, what would you rather have in your career? The QB who puts up all the insane numbers, has great regular seasons, goes 14-2, like the Chargers did, and they went one and done. All those great numbers, all those gaudy numbers, those impressive numbers, those high-scoring offenses. Would you rather have that, or would you rather have 2 rings? And I'd ask the same to Chargers fans. Over a 15, 16, 17-year span, what would you rather have? Every single person is going to say they want the quarterback who won 2 MVPs and has rings. Every single person is going to say that.
Yep.
So that's what we want. We want Super Bowls. We want guys who perform in the Super Bowl. We want guys who go on playoff runs. That's what we want. So why are we suddenly acting like it doesn't matter? It's just bizarre. There's no logic to it. And again, it's you got all these guys sitting there waiting. They're kind of sitting in the queue. It's like, okay, if Eli's not in and Phillip Rivers, like I know Phillip Rivers definitely wouldn't be a first ballot, but it's just like all that whole class that's going to usher in next. You know, I'd even ask Saints fans that. I know what they'd say. Would you rather have your 1 chip or your 2? They're all going to say I'd rather have 2 Super Bowls. Every single one of them is going to say that. Every single one. This isn't really.
But also, again, we're not talking about fucking. We're not talking about Trent Dilfer. We're not talking about Jim McMahon. We're talking about the 2011 postseason. Holding up to this day. Oh, all these quarterbacks didn't get in because everybody passed for more yards now. How come no one's passed for more yards in a single playoffs?
Yeah. He still has the record.
Oh, he's carried by thing. All right. So how come his defense ranked 17th and 25th? Like, everybody loves statistics until they have to fucking answer for them.
100%.
Eli Manning was carried by defenses. So he was carried by the 25th best defense in a year he threw for the most yards in postseason history that still stands?
Yeah.
Sounds like you hate statistics.
Well, it's all it is cherry picking. It's the same argument that I keep seeing around here that you just throw right back in their face. Oh, Burrow's so much better than Josh Allen. Burrow's 5-2 in the playoffs. Josh Allen's 7-6. Cool. Joe Burrow went 9-8 this year. I guess Burrow sucks. I guess he sucks. He's a game above 500. I guess he sucks because you literally just use that argument against Josh Allen. He's only 7-6 in the playoffs, and Burrow's 5-2. I guess Allen sucks. Look, guys, it's
but
really
what's Dan Marino's playoffs record versus what's Eli Manning's?
a lot worse. I'll tell you that much.
What's Phillip Rivers' playoff record? Well, he doesn't have more wins than he has losses because he never fucking went on a long playoff run.
Yeah. It's just, look, end of the day, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
It's
and I was shocked. I was shocked, to be honest.
Here's the thing. This goes back to the Ichiro thing. This goes back to the fucking Terrell thing. This goes back to whatever. It is not better for me when he gets in next year.
Yeah, that's weird.
Now you've just said we're liars. I lied. He is. If you vote next year, he is. So you lied last year. Honestly, here's something I believe. In any Hall of Fame, across the board, if a guy retires and you look at him and you vote, he's not a Hall of Famer, or he is a Hall of Famer. Let's say you vote he is, and then he doesn't get in. And then next year you vote he's not. You're a liar. And you should, if you are a Hall of Fame voter who is a liar, you should not have a vote. I believe any Hall of Fame voter who ever changes their vote on anybody in any sport for any reason should have their vote removed. You look at a guy's resume, he's a Hall of Famer. If you voted for Terrell Owens not to get into the Hall of Fame, and then you eventually did, I do not think you're qualified to be a Hall of Fame voter. Because what you're saying is, I have personal bias. I'm taking this separate from his statistics, and I have personal bias. If you admit openly you have a personal bias against an athlete, you're not qualified to be a Hall of Fame voter. So next year or 2 years from now, or whenever Eli Manning does get in, everybody who changed their vote should be removed from voting for Hall of Famers. Same goes for Kuechly. Same goes for Antonio Gates. Whoever voted for him this year that didn't vote for him last year, you're out. You're done. You're a fucking loser.
It is. It really is. They always talks about it. It's like, why did Antonio Gates have to wait a second year or to the second year? Why? Because why? He was a great all-time tight end, but he wasn't great enough to get in right away.
And the only justification is I could only vote for 5.
Which is fine.
But 5 didn't get in this year, did they, Andy?
No, 4. Which is fine. But exactly. I want to see the list. They made the list public for the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year and all those awards. They like people should be able to see who people vote for. They really should. There should be transparency. But who knows? I think more is going to come out on the Eli thing. I've seen things that said he wasn't as close. I've seen things that Vinatieri and Kuechly had more Hall of Fame votes than Eli, which is really interesting. I just don't get it. I just.
Let's be honest, Andy. The problem with all of these.
Is it Patriots?
What's that?
Was it because
the problem with all of these?
He beat Brady?
Is who gets votes. I can guarantee you something. If the 50 voters for MVP for Hall of Fame are Hall of Fame quarterbacks, then he's in. Peyton's voting, Brady's voting.
Yeah.
Rodgers is voting. Fucking Favre is voting.
Sure, they're all voting for him.
Voting. They're all. He's in.
Warner, they're all voting for him.
He's in. Jeb Gershwich
with the Tampa
of the San Diego fucking Tribune.
Jeff Gershwich.
Please subscribe to my Medium.com article on why I didn't vote for Tony Gwynn or Eli Manning. One time, a man named Eli shoved me in a locker in high school, and I shall never forget it.
Oh, man. I know. It's ridiculous, dude. You want to get to the game?
Let's do it.
You want to talk a little Super Bowl?
Let's do it.
Here we are. It's finally here, man. I'm expecting a good one. I mean, the line is telling us that, right? It's 1.5 point Chiefs favorite. It's telling us that. And I think we've made it very obvious. We are both rooting for the Chiefs. I would like you have your hatred for Philly, which I think their fans are insane, and I think that's for sure a thing. But for me,
insane. Buffalo Bills fans are insane.
Okay. Assholes.
Eagles fans are garbage. Human trash.
So for me, I want to see history. I think it's cool to see history in your life, especially sports history.
The Eagles not choking in the Super Bowl would be historic. They've choked in 3 of them.
So here's my take, and then you can hop in with yours. I'm obviously picking the Chiefs. I'm rooting for the Chiefs.
You're picking them like you believe they're going to win.
Yes, I believe they're going to win.
You're rooting for them to win.
I am. Look, you and I, we have our system. I think it's a very great system. NFL playoff, foolproof system. Coach, QB, defense. Eagles maybe have a say on defense.
The Eagles have the better defense.
Okay, say better.
But it's close because the Chiefs have Spags. Now I have, by the way, I want to, what I almost sent you last night at midnight, it just came back to me, and I'll share it for everybody now. But since you guys are listening, well, not everybody who's listening today on a Thursday is a Substack subscriber, but I hope that many of you are Substack subscribers. And even if you're not a Substack paid subscriber, you should subscribe to Substack for free because we put some stuff there. I'm also on Substack, so you can subscribe to me for free. You don't have to pay to be a Substack subscriber. It's a great platform, and you should use it. And you should subscribe to us and me there for free at the very least. There is a fantastic article by Tyler Dunn, who I've traded some lives with. He's a really, really good NFL writer. His Substack page is called Go Long. He put out an incredible long form post yesterday about Spags. He sat down with Spags. He talked. He just breaks down Steve Spagnuolo, and it is one of the best football articles I've read in an extremely long time. So if you're not already on Substack, come over, subscribe to me, subscribe to Dirty Sports, subscribe to Tyler, read this article. It's amazing. So the Eagles, talent-wise, no doubt about it, have the better defense. Chiefs maybe have a better defensive scheme. And if the Chiefs had the Eagles' talent on defense with their scheme, this isn't even a game, but they have the more talent. Now, with the scheme and everything, it gets a little, you can close that gap a little. The gap at quarterback and the gap at coach are I can't even describe. It's the Delaware water gap for all you Philadelphia Eagles fans.
So, and that's why I'm going with the Chiefs. You have a huge gap at QB, huge gap at coach.
The gap at QB is a black hole. If you got close to the gap at QB, you'd get sucked into it because of the gravitational pull.
So look, we just talked about it with the playoffs in the Hall of Fame. This is your chance, Jalen Hurts. Like this is, you have an opportunity here to cement yourself. And I'm going to play a call. It's a quick call talking about, because it's perfect actually timing. You and I are talking about coach and QB. So we have a call about question about Sirianni and Hurts.
Hey guys, this is Jacob from Charlotte, North Carolina. First off, I want to say congrats to Andy on the baby and congrats to Joe on the engagement and being handsome. My question is, what do Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts have to do in order for you to consider that they're actually pretty good at their jobs? I don't know, but 2 Super Bowls and 4 straight playoff appearances in 4 years is pretty good if you ask me. All right, condoms are for the Cowboys.
Look, I'll start first. Look, I don't think they're terrible. I don't think they're bad. I mean, look, you can't deny the success that they've had. I think the Eagles have really done a great job shaping their roster. Who's that? Who's that? Roseman?
Mm-hmm.
He's done a great job. I mean, they have really put together nice pieces through draft, through free agent signings. They've had a great roster. You can't deny that. And obviously, 2 Super Bowl appearances in 3 years, like you're saying, 4 straight playoff appearances. But this is my point. The legacy that you have, especially at the quarterback position or as a coach, is this game. If the Eagles win this game and Jalen Hurts has a nice game, even if he doesn't put up a ton of numbers, if he makes throws when he has to, a clutch drive here, a clutch drive there, 0 turnovers, dude, you're really going to spin and change your legacy. Like it's this game. And you and I both know Spags is going to say, Saquon's not beating me. You and I both know this, right? Saquon's insane. Look what he's doing to teams in the playoffs. Spags he's going to say to Jalen Hurts, you have to beat me. And I think that's what has to happen for both the coach and the QB to really elevate their legacy or just their status is win this game.
Also, it's a weird, the presenting it that way is a very weird way to present it, because does it automatically, like, coach and quarterback, they have to be linked? Like, as good as Sirianni is, that's how good Jalen Hurts is, and vice versa? I mean, you're posing. First of all, thank you for the compliment about my good looks. But so, like, I'm not attacking you in any way, but like, you're talking to a man who is in the cockpit of the Russell Wilson is overrated plane. That is the engineer of the Russell Wilson is overrated train, right? So I've always believed in Pete Carroll and building with their defense. And Russell Wilson wins 10 games every year. Does he? Or does Pete Carroll pretty good coach? Like, I don't necessarily think that everybody here has to be linked. I said, I think Russell Wilson is overrated. I don't think Russell Wilson was great because he won all those games, and Pete Carroll's also great because he won all those games. I think Drew Brees is a great quarterback. Listen, I'm a Drew Brees is like overrated guy, but at the same time, I'm a Drew Brees is a great quarterback. Drew Brees carried Sean Payton way more than Sean Payton carried Drew Brees. But we love to do this. Sean Payton's great and Drew Brees is great. Pete Carroll's great and Jalen Hurts is great. Just everybody's as great as their QB.
Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll.
Russell Wilson, yeah. Everybody's as great as their good QB, or everybody's as great as their good coach. Mike Tomlin's great. He's great. But when Ben Roethlisberger started getting old, we're starting to talk about how many years can you win 10 games and not win a playoff game? Where it's so was Mike Tomlin that great? Was Ben Roethlisberger that great? Who's that great? You know what I mean? Oh man, Tony Dungy, exceptional coach. Okay, like it's just I don't know that these guys are like so fucking linked together. When you talk about 4 straight playoff appearances, they made the Super Bowl. They lost both of their coordinators. They got beat by the Bucs in a wild card game. Oh, well, the statistics on Jalen Hurts, and this is where you go with the fucking Eli Manning conversation. We're talking about record. That's the statistics that he has going for him, is his record.
He's never thrown for 4,000 yards.
4,000.
4,000.
We have.
What do you think the most touchdown passes he's thrown for in a season is?
25? 21?
23.
We've talked about Josh Allen gets the MVP this year, could take away Stephon Diggs because they focus on playing defense. We talk. Joe Burrow, by the way, is openly campaigning for every single one of his weapons, including fucking Gesicki, to come back. Joe Burrow ain't that confident. I know he's Joe Cool. I know he's got a Batmobile. I know he got robbed by teenagers. I know all these fucking things. Patrick Mahomes is like, yeah, I know if you guys want to trade Tyreek Hill, like, we'll be okay.
Yeah, we'll draft.
Joe Burrow's like, I need my fucking tight end. I need Gesicki.
Well, you know what he is. I agree. You know what he is. Joe Burrow is what I'm going through with my 2-year-old daughter, and the pacifier and her burp cloth, her little cloth.
Yeah,
it's security.
Yeah,
and we're fighting it, and it's like, dude, you're to the age. We're working with daycare. It's like, you can't be carrying this damn cloth everywhere, and you can't have the pass in your mouth. That's what Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Gesicki and all these guys are for Burrow.
So when A.J. Brown is down, Jalen Hurts looks like shit. They go out and they get him one of the best running backs of all time, and suddenly they're in the Super Bowl again. Howie Roseman's a genius. Okay, so if Howie Roseman's a genius and we're putting, then is Jalen Hurts just
mid?
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, look. I stand for Hurts definitely more than you. I think it really helps when you have a good running game, and they had that a couple years ago when they made the Super Bowl. They had a really good running game, and they had a really good defense a couple years, and then
they got to the Super Bowl. They played the Chiefs, the modern day Patriots. Not to go back to the absolute sham that was Eli Manning not getting in. But they played the modern day Patriots, and the difference in the game was Jalen Hurts, untouched, gave the other team 7 points. Untouched.
Yeah.
Untouched, handed the ball to the other team, fumble 6. Untouched. No one touched him. He just threw the ball backwards. The other team picked it up. They scored. He choked the Super Bowl away single-handedly. He single-handedly choked the Super Bowl away. So Jalen Hurts has one Super Bowl appearance that he personally blew.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson played in one Super Bowl that wasn't close. Game was over before he got on the field as an offensive player. He played in one Super Bowl that was close. He threw the game away. Like, we have to, like, you just have, this whole thing it all comes down to this. I know the Rose Bowl is the granddaddy of them all, but like, this is what it's all about. This is what you play for. You get there, you choke, you blow it. Who are the greatest coaches of all time? How far down the list do you go before you get to Marv Levy? He made 4 in a row. Nick Sirianni's made the playoffs 4 in a row. 4 years in a row, he's made the playoffs. How far down the list do you go of great coaches of all time before you get to Marv Levy? Go? I know, like,
you get to a lot, man. You go through a lot of coaches.
Where's Jim Kelly on your all-time quarterbacks list?
He doesn't sniff it.
Is he 15?
No.
So at what point do we start talking about how great Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are? I don't know. Maybe win a fucking Super Bowl.
But that's my point. That's exactly my point to the caller. Like, dude, you got your chance right now. Look, the odds are telling us it's a very evenly matched game. We're talking a 1.5 spread. It's a toss-up, basically. We're heading in. It's a toss-up. Now, look. Jalen Hurts. Last Super Bowl. Had a pretty good Super Bowl. But he also gave up 7 points, which is the difference. Outside of that, he had a hell of a game. But at the end of the day, this is how legacies are defined, is the Super Bowl. Nobody gives a shit about the loser. Sorry. Nobody. Only loser fans do. Only loser fans sit there and they dwell.
Which,
and they
by the way, what's amazing is think about how good your coach could be if your genius GM wasn't like, well, we made 4 straight NFC championship games, but that's not good enough. Bye. Goodbye. You have a decided, I know, everyone wants to suck Howie Roseman's dick. Because Howie Roseman will be like, did you murder some of your teammates in college? I'll draft you. Everyone wants to suck Howie Roseman's dick, but there is a decided coaching advantage for the Chiefs in this game because Howie Roseman fired Andy Reid.
It is pretty ironic. I mean, you agree with me, right? That the game plan here, at least for the Chiefs defense and Spags, is going to say, he's going to say, Saquon is not going to beat me. Now, don't get me wrong. Saquon's out of this world. Saquon they might stack the box and
he'll still do it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because Saquon's that fucking good.
Despite his 18-31 career record. So does that show its face in this game? We shall see.
Let me ask you this. Would you be shocked if one team blew out another team by 2 touchdowns?
By 2 touchdowns?
Yeah.
No. I'd be shocked if the Eagles blew out the Chiefs by 2 touchdowns.
So you wouldn't be shocked if the Chiefs win by 13,
I wouldn't be
14
shocked.
points.
I wouldn't be shocked I would be shocked for it not to be a close game. But 2 touchdowns can be a close game in the end. You know what I mean?
How do you think it plays out?
I think it's a close game.
Yeah.
And I think the Chiefs win a close game.
So you're like me. You think it's a close game. You think the Chiefs do what they always do.
I'd bet the under. I don't believe in this whole idea that there's going to be points. Super Bowls always start slow. Eagles start slow. Eagles not great at scoring early in games this season. They're going to run the shit out of the ball because they need to. They don't want to put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands. Nick Sirianni. If there's something about Nick Sirianni's coaching that I think is good, he is terribly afraid of letting Jalen Hurts throw the ball. Smart. He's mid. You were sharing me fucking stats with Jalen Hurts under pressure the other day.
They're pretty bad. Like if
Spags brings pressure, dude.
Yeah.
Spags brings pressure from different fucking areas.
If
from
you
the edge, from the middle, from the corners, from safeties. Spags is pressure.
I mean, look, this was a Warren Sharp stat. And I know this is like next level nerddom, but they are pretty insane. Out of 37 QBs when Jalen Hurts is pressured.
Now, by the way, I just want, because Eagles fans are casuals, and I know that they started watching football like 6 weeks ago. There's 32 teams in the NFL.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry,
point.
Just want to say that.
So out of 37 QBs when pressured.
More QBs than there are teams in the NFL.
Greater than symbol, which show loves. He's 37 out of 37 QBs in success rate. He's 37 out of 37 QBs in EPA attempt. He's 33 out of 37 QBs in sack rate, and he's 32 out of 37.
What's his record?
Fun fact. Sidebar with that. Kansas City is number 6 in defensive pressure rates, quarters 2 through 4. So they only get better as the game goes on. And we've seen that in the playoffs. They ramp it up. They only get more pressure as the game goes on because they dial up plays, they dial up schemes.
Because if you read this article that Tyler did, which is fucking amazing, by the way, they have a single person on their coaching staff throughout the game breaking down how the other team protects each and every snap. So what they're doing is you're trying to win a football game in the first quarter, and they are studying you in the first quarter.
That's fascinating. That's really interesting.
And it's on the fly. Like they'll on a fly get shit.
So here's another interesting stat that I'm just going to throw out there. I love when you guys send me this stuff. Makes my job a lot easier, so I appreciate it. Shout out to A. Millie for sending me this one. This is another one that does not bode in the Eagles' favor. This was a story written before the year started. It just was a headline. Can a team win a Super Bowl with a $30 million receiver? And basically the premise of the story is saying, if you look at the last 15 years, Prano, paying a receiver $30 million a year does not equal team success.
Right.
Every stat says it doesn't. So the only two players to win a Super Bowl on a team that was paying them $30 million annually are Tyreek Hill for 1 year, and then they got rid of him and said, we don't want to pay this anymore. And then they won 2 more, and Demaryius Thomas in 2015. The reason I'm bringing this up, A.J. Brown's on this list because the Eagles paid him, and he makes $32 million a year.
Yeah.
So my point is, it's only happened twice since 2011. So in the last 15 years, they're basically saying you can't, it's difficult to have a receiver that's getting paid and have team success.
Because herein lies, you were talking about your daughter before.
Yeah.
Okay. Herein lies the thing. If your quarterback needs a binky,
yes,
you have a problem.
100%.
Your problem is not the receivers.
No.
And it's not the salary cap, and it's not whatever. Your problem is that your quarterback needs a binky.
And look, I'm gonna throw you one right here. To go back to Eli never needed a binky.
Eli didn't even have a fucking bottle, dude.
Eli was one of those starving African kids.
Eli was a raccoon. He was eating out of garbage cans. You look into a garbage can, Eli pops his head out. They're like, what are you doing there? He's like, I'm scavenging for a Steve Smith leftover. They're like, what? He's like, there's a Steve Smith on the Panthers. But apparently, there's a little part of him that fell off into the garbage. See if I can. What are you doing in a New Jersey dumpster? Wow, this guy, Victor Cruz. The Jets cut him, and I'm looking for his dead body. I was thinking about maybe turning him into an all-pro.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean, look, but again, the Eagles have a great D. If they can get after Mahomes, again, I've been doing some deep dives. Here's what else is insane. I don't know where I read this one. I don't know if this was which of these sites I go to. I go to all these different sites to look at this stuff. Mahomes actually in the playoffs. Here's almost a reverse stat. Mahomes actually, when he has more time to throw, his 2 losses in the playoffs. I'm sorry, it'd be I think 3. So it'd be Chiefs, Bengals, Bucks. He's had more time to throw. Now, I don't think the Bucks won. I think that one would be the outlier. But in the other games, it's like he's throwing worse when he has more. When he just is locked in, boom, snap, throw, he's crushing it. So I was going to say they got to get after him, but in a weird way, that almost is reverse if you look at the numbers. But regardless, I think you still got to get after him. We both agree. I think it boils down to this. Eagles, you got to really run the ball. You got to keep Mahomes off the field. That's going to be your recipe. Keep your defense fresh.
I'm of the opinion, and listen, I've said AFC wins the Super Bowl for fucking 15 weeks or whatever. Maybe 18 weeks. I don't even know. Maybe 20 weeks. But the bottom line is I don't trust quarterbacks whose coaches don't trust them.
Yeah.
We might. Does Jalen Hurts get to be Trent Dilfer? I don't know. Maybe. Trent Dilfer beat Kerry Collins. Trent Dilfer beat a Giants team that didn't belong there. Jim McMahon beat the fucking, Patriots. with, I don't know, Steve Grogan or some shit like that, which I believe Steve Grogan is like Baby Yoda's real name. Like, we're not talking about, like, the Chiefs are a fucking dynasty. I don't think Trent Dilfer beats the dynasty team.
Yeah, there is a difference. You want to get into some bets?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's get into some prop bets here. Before we do that,
well, let me ask you something before we even get to prop bets, because I know you have some fun ones. You've got Chiefs win.
Yeah.
Mahomes MVP.
Yeah.
Is there a world where anyone else wins MVP and the Chiefs win? Is there a close game, Chiefs win, Chris Jones MVP? Is there
No, not in my opinion.
Is there a Travis Kelce MVP?
He's got to have a hell of a game.
There's no defensive play. You think it's Mahomes?
Unless somebody like an Xavier Worthy just goes off, but to me, if he goes off, then the QB gets all his yards too. So
basically, I mean, Xavier Worthy type's an outlier because what you could do, the only way a guy like that gets it over a Mahomes is if he like
runs the ball.
And scores.
Yeah. There's some.
I don't think Andy Reid's doing that. I think Andy Reid's doing the shovel pass or whatever. I don't think Andy Reid's running a straight up fucking reverse. I don't know if I've ever fucking seen them run a reverse like that.
Yeah. Worthy doesn't return punts, does he?
No.
So, yeah. So, I mean, most likely I would put all my money on Mahomes.
Not a lot of value there, but.
No, there's not value, but if you ask me what I think. All right. Well,
and by the way, the quarterbacks always have the lowest value,
sure.
Right? Except, of course, on this Eagles team where Saquon Barkley is has better odds of being the.
Well, Joe,
listen, I'm not.
Let's get these. Before we do that, I just want to confirm. I already know this. I want to confirm when you're watching the game, you'll be sipping down, guzzling some ice cold Miller Lights.
So I've already planned it, Andy.
Take me through it.
So here's what happened. The other day, I'm sitting out here in my shed, where I work from. For anybody that doesn't know, I no longer work for the Adam Carolla Show. So I've been back in the shed this week. That's a long story that I may or may not get into. Subscribe on my Substack. But I'm sitting in my shed the other day. I get into happy hour, turn around to my Miller Lite fridge, and this is a true statement that happened in my head. I turn around, I pull out a beer. I have one Miller Lite remaining after I pull out this beer. I crack a Miller Lite. I'm going to do a little happy hour work. And I was like, oh my God. The big game is this weekend. And I have one Miller Lite. And I was like, I am not letting this get any closer to kickoff. I went to MillerLite.com/Dirty Sports. And Jake, the delivery guy, brought me an 18-pack of bottles an 18-pack of cans and 12 bottles. I was like, I need a little bottle can mix up. And the guy shows up and he goes, this is a true exchange, Andy. You love you some Miller Lite. I go, you have no idea, bro. He's like, okay.
Well,
me my Miller Lights.
It's like they say, no games, like Joe's saying, except for this game, right? No games, no gimmicks, just a great beer for people who like beer. Guys, Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. It's up on the screen. Follow it. Go to MillerLite.com/Dirty Sports to find delivery options near you, or pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Okay. Let's get into some of these. Do you want to do just like player props or the fun ones? I like the fun ones.
Yeah.
Let's do the fun ones. So I'm just going to go across some of these. You and I have both picked up a couple websites, a couple fun ones. Okay. These are player ones. Let me go through. Let's do. These are actually fun player ones. Okay, let's start with the national anthem.
Let's go.
I'm not doing coin toss this year because I don't care. We're not doing coin toss. Who cares? It's heads or tails. Who gives a shit?
And it's a 50-50 bet.
Yeah, who cares?
It's not even. It's probably a minus 110 bet because you got to get you have to pay a vig on a coin toss. If you want to bet the coin toss, sit in a room with your buddy and bet the coin toss.
Yeah. So, national anthem prop: Jean-Baptiste singing the national anthem.
Now, is he singing it? Is he playing it? What's going on here?
He's playing it.
He's singing it?
Playing on the piano? I don't know.
I don't know.
He's playing it on the piano, singing it. He did do the national anthem for the 2017 NBA All-Star game.
Ooh,
when
okay.
it was in New Orleans. So we do have a precedent.
Okay.
He clocked in. This says,
I love this.
He clocked in at around 120 seconds. The over-under is 120 and a half seconds at plus 114.
What a scam by the books to just add a half on his
But hold on.
last performance.
It was 120, but that included an opening piano flourish, is how they describe it.
Mm.
Oh, this guy's been all over. He also did the U.S. Open in 2017, and he was easily under 120. He didn't have the flourish. But he sang that one solo. So what's he going to do? Well, then we have another one where he's got a guitar. So it's like, what is he going to do? The guitar? The piano? Is he going to go solo?
Hammering the over here. Hammering the over. Ask me why, Andy.
Why?
This is not an arena.
Yeah.
This is not a tennis court. This is a stadium. The extra seconds just for it to go from your mouth to the speakers to the stadium. We're adding time. Hammering the over here.
Okay.
Now, I don't love these bets ever. I got screwed on the Coldplay bet. I'll never forget it.
The Coldplay bet. You still talking about that?
I'll never forget it because the reason I hate these bets is because he'll come out and they'll be like, the piano flourish didn't count. And I'm like, why doesn't that count? The man, the second any sort of tone, vocally or musically or instrumentally, comes out of this man, until the second that tone stops ringing at the end is the number.
All right. Well, we'll move around. Let's stick with music.
Are you with me on that? Or are you?
I'm with you. I totally am with you because I agree, dude. You're in New Orleans. I assume he's got a French name. I don't know this guy. I assume he's from there. Why would you not milk it? You're at the infamous Superdome. Why would you not milk it? Flourish that. Whatever that means. Flourish that shit. Milk it. He's gonna milk it. Okay, let's hop to halftime then. Kendrick Lamar is performing. What is he gonna open up with? These are the odds. Let's go through the first few. The odds-on favorite is Humble, minus 155. Not Like Us, plus 200. Squabble Up, plus 300. Swimming Pools Drank, plus 600. Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe.
What was Drake?
Plus 600.
Interesting.
Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, plus 700.
Oh, that's not it.
Definitely not it. The other ones are long shots.
Well, you know he's going to start with a hit. I don't think he's starting with Humble.
The odds-on favorite, you're saying no.
To me, listen, I know Not Like Us is like his song of the moment. So does he start with that or does he end with that?
When the beat, let me put it this way: what better is the beat to drop to start your performance? It's Humble.
Right. Yeah, but isn't that really his like jam? Isn't that really his song that like? I feel like you culminate there, or you work it in the peak of your set. I'm going because it's New Orleans, value, I'm going swimming pools. It's New Orleans. 6-1, drinkingest drink town that there's ever been in all of the world. I like the value there.
Okay.
That's my play. If you make me bet on it, that's my play. Because I'm not betting the favorite.
I'm betting the favorite.
Okay.
I know it's not a good return on investment. I think he's just gonna come out humble. All right, let's stick around with Kendrick Lamar. Total number of songs that he's going to perform. Over 10.5.
10.5
is at minus 105 on BetMGM.
I got to go under. I don't think the casual NFL fan knows 6 Kendrick Lamar songs. I think he sticks with the hits. This to me is an under. 10.5.
There's a lot
That's
of
a
songs.
lot of songs.
I mean, look, they can do 15 seconds of a song though. They can.
But that doesn't count because Coldplay did 15 seconds of a song.
I'm just saying you can really mow through these, especially with a hip hop artist. It's easy to transition.
Listen, I'm gonna do this. To me, is like I can't even imagine. I want to go to Kendrick Lamar on one of the apps and just hit top songs. I mean, he could do a lot of these ones from the new. I mean, if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 15 songs before you get to Humble on his top songs right now. But I just don't I don't think you can. I'm going under.
Okay. I would probably go under too.
10.5.
It's a lot of songs.
They're gonna say 8.
Okay, here's a fun one. Tom Brady's calling the game, by the way. You can make a prop bet on Tom Brady's tie color.
Ooh.
The odds-on favorite is blue at plus 175. Gray silver plus 300. No tie plus 320. It's a pretty high. Red plus 600. Black plus 1200.
Let's go. Give me black.
Okay, black, green, pink, and yellow are all plus 1200.
Give me black at plus 1200.
He's definitely wearing a tie.
Andy, the game is in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's take a couple things. He's not wearing red. He's not wearing green. Right? He's not pulling for a team here.
Yeah.
Those are out. The game is in New Orleans. Black. He owns the Raiders. Black.
I like it.
He fucking thinks he's cool as shit. Black. 1,200. You're giving me I've decided to remove all of my prop bets and funnel all of my money into Tom Brady 1,200 black.
I mean, he's wearing a black suit with a black tie, right?
He's wearing a gray suit, white shirt, black tie.
Okay. What about this one? This is an easy one. Will Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift?
What's the odds on yes?
Plus 800.
Oof, it's not high enough.
Yeah.
Because first of all,
they have to win.
Yeah. No, that's a no.
That's an easy no.
But for a yes no answer, one's plus 800, the other one's probably minus 400 or whatever.
Okay. How about this one? Will there be an octopus? Do you know what an octopus is?
Yeah, of course I know what an octopus is.
Right?
Yeah.
Besides, it's an animal in the ocean, guys.
Yeah.
That's what an octopus is. It's when a player scores a touchdown and then the ensuing 2-point conversion in the same score.
Can you bet directly on a guy getting an octopus or?
I don't know. It doesn't say here.
Yeah.
Yes, it's plus 1,400. No is at
Wow.
minus. No is at minus 5,000.
I mean, I like the yes bet.
I like it on Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Push twice.
Butt fuck. Couple butt fucks for plus 1,400.
Double butt fuck. Double butt fuck
fuck.
ash. Double butt fuck action.
Nick Sirianni. Come on. Another butt fuck.
Bring out the double-ended dildo.
Another double butt fuck. Ass to ass.
Ass to ass. I like it. Plus 1,400.
I love that we live. I mean, what a fucking world we live in today. Eli Manning isn't in the Hall of Fame, and there are casual fans standing for a butt fuck merchant.
Yeah. Who gets mentioned? It's got to be God, right? In the first MVP speech.
Because I mean, your top three options are Mahomes, Saquon, Jalen Hurts, right?
Boy, everybody last night.
Listen, if it's a black guy, it's God.
It's God. I watched the tail end of that award show. I watched like the last few. Just like everybody's doing God, dude. I was like surprised. I was like, Josh.
Travis Kelce doesn't do God if he wins, you know?
No, he doesn't.
It's a black guy thing.
I mean, this doesn't list the bets. It has teammates at plus 325.
Not high enough odds to go against God.
Mahomes 100% is doing God or Jesus.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at do we have Gatorade? We have Gatorade here somewhere, right? Dude, these different sites have different. It's so stupid. We were talking about this before the show. Like, I can't even view certain betting because it depends where you live.
Also, I'm never betting the Gatorade again after last year. Another one I got screwed on.
For you, what was last year?
Last year, I think I went no Gatorade. And then they dumped Gatorade on Andy Reid like 4.5 days later. And they're like, yep, that counts. Like, no, he was at Buffalo Wild Wings celebrating. He spilled an orange soda on himself. That's not a Gatorade dump.
All right, listen to me.
They hit him on the way to the bus. Like, that is not. If that shit isn't on camera on the sideline while the clock is running, that is not a Gatorade dump. At what point does liquid hitting Andy Reid come off the board? Like, it was raining on his way to the bus. That's a clear. You win if you bet clear.
All right, we got so many. I'll just go through some of these. Okay.
Okay.
We got let's do MVP.
What's the over under on the game, by the way?
What was it? 40. Let's see, I was just looking at it. Hold on a second.
It's in the 40s, huh?
It is 48.5.
Ooh. You're going to love this then, because I said the under, but I also have a score prediction.
Let me hear it.
And I was wondering, because I did it in my head, I was like, it's only in the 40s. 26-22, Kansas City.
48. The under.
48. But also, is that a scoregami for a Super Bowl? 26-22 Kansas City. You could probably get 75-1 on exact score if you want.
No isn't even listed for scoregami on a lot of them. Scoregami on DraftKings is plus 2,800.
Yeah.
So if we look at MVP here, I mean, we already went over this. I think it's Mahomes. That's only plus 120. Saquon is plus 250. Jalen Hurts is plus 350. Travis Kelce's plus 1,400. Xavier Worthy's plus 3,100.
That's in order of lowest?
Yeah.
Wow. You get to like the fifth guy on the list. You're at 31-1.
AJ Brown plus 3,500. Marquise Brown plus 65, along with Devontae Smith. Chris Jones is plus 6,500.
Love it. Give me Chris Jones. 65-1.
If he has 2 sacks and maybe a fumble recovery, I just don't see Mahomes not getting it if the Chiefs win. And we both think the Chiefs are going to win. Right?
Yeah. Listen, I think there's a reason Mahomes is fucking favorite, but I'm just saying value-wise, give me a defensive player on a team that wins a close defensive game and strip sack recovery from the buttfuck merchant.
Okay, how about this one?
I'll tell you one thing. If you play this game 65 times, he's the MVP more than once.
That's interesting. Does the team who score first wins? Yes, minus 172. No, plus 140.
Ooh, that's an interesting
one.
What are the odds on it?
Minus 172 for yes. Team who scores first wins. Minus plus 140 for no.
I would go no, but it's not, the value's not there.
There's not much value. The Chiefs, it doesn't really matter if they score first. Like it's never affected them.
That's why I like the no.
Yeah. Let's look at some odds on passing yards for Patrick Mahomes. If he's at 250 plus, it's minus 118. Now it changes if we go to 275 plus, it's plus 154.
Sorry, 250 is the number.
Then his odds are minus 118.
Over 250.
Over 250 or more
is minus 118.
Yeah.
I kind of like the under. I kind of like 245. Dude, I've said it before, and I'll say
he's not throwing for a ton of yards.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. To me, and this is this 245 is low, but to me, the perfect football game is 275, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers.
Yeah,
that's the perfect football game.
120 yards rushing the ball as a team. What do we think he runs for?
What's his over under?
Well, I'm just looking at different odds on different numbers.
Totals?
Yeah.
All right. Give me some of those.
Let me see here. Rushing. 25 plus is minus 170. 40 plus is plus 195. I don't think he rushes for 40.
The numbers in between there, I think. It's 35 rushing yards, right?
Yeah, I agree. This is interesting. The Saquon doesn't even make the board because they know he's going to rush for 1. That's hilarious. On 1+ rushing TD. Like he's not even on here on FanDuel. Like it's not even an option. No, let's go through some. We've done a bunch of Mahomes. Let's do some Jalen Hurts.
Men whose face touches asshole.
How about this one? Pass attempts.
I'm going +6.
Pass attempts. Over 27.5 at minus 108.
No way.
I agree. Under 27.5 minus 120.
Yeah.
No way he's throwing 28 passes. Ooh, longest pass. This is an interesting one for Jalen Hurts. Longest pass. Over 32.5 or under 32.5. It's at 114 across the board.
Under. You think Spags isn't getting beat on the fucking the desperation fade.
They have Jalen Hurts rushing yards over under 36.5.
I'll go over.
Yeah,
They're gonna need him.
I agree.
He's gonna get out on 2 or 3 scrambles because of pressure.
Yeah, first quarter rushing yards 5.5. I'd totally go over on that.
For Hurts?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
first quarter. Dude, he has one run.
Give me Dallas Goedert receptions, by the way.
Ooh.
Talk about binkies.
Receiving props. Here we go.
Give me Dallas Goedert over 14 targets.
Where are we at here? Where's Dallas Goedert? Dude, there's so many bets to weigh through. Let's see here. Let's see here. Sorry. Jalen Hurts, Kareem Hunt. Come on. Travis Kelce. Where's Dallas Goedert? Sorry.
Also, where's my first touchdown props?
They don't. Come on. They don't list Dallas Goedert on here.
Because it's like Saquon's first TD.
Yeah. They don't.
They're like this. They're like, we're not putting this Pappy on the fucking.
Okay, scoring props. What are you looking for? First TD
scorer.
TD props. Sorry. No, this is anytime scorer.
I'll tell you the one I also really love too.
What's that?
Eagles win the half, lose the game.
I do like that. Well, that's what happened in the first Super Bowl. Right?
Yep.
Sorry, dude. There's so many of these here. I don't know if you can pull one up that I'm looking at 3 different websites right now.
Oh, you're good. We all know where to find touchdown scorer, but I'm just trying to think of who gives you like where's the value in first TD scorer.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know why this is not. Why are you guys not doing this for me? There's so many. Ooh. Let's do a cross-sport one real quick. Saquon Barkley to have more rushing yards than Milwaukee Bucks team total points.
No.
Plus 105.
No.
Saquon Barkley to have more rushing yards than the highest scoring NBA team. Plus 130.
No way. We just talked about it. It's like I think Saquon's gonna have a good game. I think Saquon's gonna have, 105 and a touch. And that's gonna be the equivalent of holding LeBron James to 27 and 8 and 8. You know what I mean? Like you give yourself a chance. He's not doing a 160-yard Super Bowl.
If he does, he probably gets the MVP and they win. Let me do a quick call.
I'll also go. I don't know what over under rushing yards. I love Saquon Barkley. Always have, always will. Great player. I called him the best running back I'd ever seen. I still believe that. Like, he's right there. I hate that he's on the Eagles, but I don't know what his over under is, but I'll bet the under. And I'm not rooting for this, but like Saquon Barkley missing a quarter and a half with some sort of fucking strain.
Yeah. Let me get to this quick call.
Okay.
So we can kind of get through the end of this. Didn't we have a call? Yeah, it's Super Bowl related.
Yo, what's going on, Dirty Sports? This is Hunter from Michigan, the OG Subchat subscriber. Talking about the Super Bowl, talking about Eli Manning's throw to David Tyree, got me sort of thinking and wondering, have you guys ever talked about like your top 5 Super Bowl moments, like Super Bowl plays? There's a lot of, infamous ones over the years. Obviously, Manning's throw to Tyree is one. Elway's helicopter spin or whatever it is one. Percy Harvin's, kick return, or Devin Hetzer's kick return, I believe, is one as well. What would you guys say your top 5 Super Bowl plays are? I don't think that's a question ever really been asked for. Ruther, congrats on the second daughter. And, Joe, congrats on being able to do comedy again. And hope you guys are safe over there in California. That's all for me. Catch you later.
Okay. Appreciate you.
Are we talking about top 5 standout plays ever, or like just for us personally?
Good question. I mean, obviously David Tyree, Eli.
David Tyree, helmet catch, 1.
That's got to be one for everybody.
Santonio Holmes, toe tap. It's a pretty big one.
It's a pretty good one.
Iconic Joe Montana to John Taylor, slant, touchdown, ball game.
Pretty iconic.
Manningham, toe tap, sideline.
Yeah.
Again, not to go. I mean, Giants just play in a lot of close Super Bowls, but Scott Norwide is pretty fucking memorable.
Yeah, I know.
To lose a Super Bowl on a missed field goal.
Yeah, I knew exactly where I was watching that. That was really memorable. I'll never forget where I was the end of that Rams-Titans game, to be honest. I mean, he's a yard short?
Yep,
like
yard
that
short.
That was a wild ending. I knew exactly where I was. And
yep.
My buddies, like, that was pretty infamous. The Seahawks Patriots ending.
I was gonna say three picks that stand out to me. The pick at the end of the Seahawks Patriots game, the pick that ended the Saints Colts game, and the pick that ended the Steelers Cowboys game.
Yeah.
Neil O'Donnell threw a pick to what? The 8th Woodson or whatever, he wasn't even a Woodson. I think it was.
Well, and it's not. I don't know if people would say it's the most memorable, dude. When the Seahawks instantly got that safety on the Broncos, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Right. Like, did they? And I could be wrong. Did they start the game on the first or second drive, like 2-0?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, the defense has come to play.
And the Giants did that against Brady. Remember when Brady threw the
That's right.
intentional grounding, when he was like, they're never calling me on this, and he threw a ball 70 yards downfield, and there was a receiver within 50 yards of him because Justin Tuck was breathing down his neck.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's been a lot of great moments. I mean, I'll never forget, when Guy on Couch stood up when I was at the Super Bowl party at the Valley and literally basically threatened a bunch of Cholo Raiders fans. And I said, when they stab you, that's a very memorable moment in Super Bowl history. I'm not going near this. I don't know why they showed up in full Raiders gear to a Packers Steelers Super Bowl, but I'm not messing with them.
We are once again tackling one of the great recurring Joe Prano things. Do not, under any circumstances, wear a fucking jersey or a hat or a t-shirt or any piece of merchandise of your fucking team that's not in the Super Bowl to a Super Bowl party, you cuck loser.
Yeah.
It's not, what do you mean? It's a Super Bowl party. I'm a Steelers fan. You're a fucking dork. You are a guy who enjoys calling down to the front desk of the hotel for extra towels to clean off the man that you're watching fucking your wife, you cock. Don't fucking do it.
I mean, look, there's been a lot of them. We've actually, this got me thinking, like, we've been blessed with a lot of good.
How about the 99-yard interception at the end of the half of that Steelers Cardinals game that ends up not even being the biggest play of the game because of the Santonio Holmes toe tap
to James Harrison?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, even recently, last year's game goes into overtime. The year before, there's the holding penalty on the Eagles. which ended the game. I mean, it's like there's been a lot of we've really been lucky, right? Like now there was a blowout, the Bucks, Chiefs, but for the most part, they've been good. All right, guys, give us a shout. 310-359-8365. That's the hotline.
The fridge running one in?
Yeah, it's a little before my time.
That's really the beginning of my football thing.
My first ever football Super Bowl memory is the Joe Montana Taylor at a Bengals party with my whole family. Just crushed an entire city. I mean,
it's amazing because I was like, that's one of my great early life football moments, because at the time I'm a bigger Notre Dame football fan than I am even a pro football fan. And you got Joe Montana, and I love the Niners, and you're fucking rooting for them, and they come down at the end, and just listen. Yeah. Joe Montana's career stats pretty mediocre as far as compilings go, but he did win all those Super Bowls. But if you take away all those Super Bowls,
yeah, take away those 4 Super Bowls.
If you take away the 4 Super Bowls,
what do we have here?
What do we have here? He's
Trent Green. He's Trent Green.
he is not an Iron Man. Missed a lot of games. He retired early to injury. Probably 20th on the all-time thing. Steve Young takes over for him. I'm just saying, if you remove the 4 perfect Super Bowls he played, if you completely remove them from his career.
All right, guys, give us a shout. 310-359-8365. That's a hotline.
All right, you can follow me at Joe Prano on all social media. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on all the things. Follow me. You can come see me doing some shows in and around LA for a minute. I'll be doing Ventiki. We rescheduled that Ventiki show for February. I am doing the Slow Comedy Festival once again, end of the month. I'll be there. I believe it's the 27th through like the 2nd, maybe 1st or 2nd of March. Got a bunch of shows coming up. Back to comedy, back to freedom. Abba Zabba, you're my only friend. So come see me do some stand-up. And follow me on all socials. Follow me on Substack. And listen to the Jay Moore podcast. Great one out this week with Skylar Stone. He talks about doing painkillers by having friends blow him up his butthole, which I didn't even know was real. I thought that was just a Wolf of Wall Street thing. So give a listen to that one. It's fun.
Hey guys, I'm not shadow banned anymore on.
Is that true?
Yeah.
How did you know that?
And same for Dirty Sports.
But how did you find that out?
I reached out to Elon. I said, hey, Elon. I started watching a bunch of YouTube videos
on how to get unshadow banned.
It's pretty amazing. There's just a couple tricks. It seems like this was, I knew it was some sort of algorithm. Whenever fucking chaos happened, when I think things transitioned, basically you go into your profiles, and here's what's great. I ended up DMing the guy, and he ended up helping me one-on-one. Just like some young guy who does some YouTube videos. You basically go into privacy and settings, and on your post, remove mark media as having sensitive material. There's some sort of glitch in the system. And then the same thing on content you see. If you take off the thing that says display media that may contain sensitive content, like I'll end up putting that one back on. I think he said it'll take a couple days. Last night, he said it might take a day or 2. You can search me now. You can tag me.
You're back, baby.
I'm back, but so anyway. Yeah.
Will this up your tweeting?
No, I was starting to tweet a little more. I was like, I'm gonna tweet a little more this year, maybe. But we'll see. we'll see. You know, I made a little joke about the guys who robbed Joe Burrow, those Backstreet Boys. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna which we haven't even gotten into. By the way, if this wasn't the Super Bowl, I would totally title this Joe Burrow needs his binky, which is hilariously true. I hate to say it. I've been texting a lot with Justin. It's like, you seem to be on my train now, Prano. Like, it's not a good look when you're vouching for your entire offense and your D sucked, dude.
Me? What do you mean I'm on your train? I'm the guy. I started this. I wrote this book. I wrote the fucking book. But listen, my thing with Joe Burrow, just quickly before we go, that I find is like, I don't mind him. Like, it feels like this is partially him like riding for his boys,
which I get.
But like, isn't your whole team your boys? Like, you can ride for your boys, but like, you know, they always say like, oh, and Joe Burrow bought his whole fucking offensive line, like legit Batman costumes or whatever, you know,
swords, yeah.
Who gives a shit? But it's like, when you like, there's only so much money to go around. So when you ride for all your weapons, like I think that's cool. It's like, hey, these are my dudes. You're also not riding for like offensive linemen, defensive linemen, linebackers, safeties, corners. Like, you're also not riding for any of them. So right, like, oh, cool. You want us to just pay every weapon you have?
Everybody in Cincinnati will say the opposite. He's finally to have somebody to put pressure on the front office because he wants.
Yeah, but it's not baseball, dude. It's not. It's not an unlimited salary cap. We didn't even get into Pete Alonso's back. Let's fucking Mets.
We'll do it all next week. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your Super Bowl. Be safe. And as always, stay dirty.